Hi, my name is Mike Barmundi, and I'm a business development manager and technical evangelist for IGEL in Seattle, Washington. I wanted to talk to you today about the value that IGEL and VMware Horizon Cloud for Azure can bring to the healthcare vertical, especially today. I laugh because it's just so unbelievable to me, the development that's taken place in the past 3 or 4 weeks when it's come to the face of our world, right? Everything's changed, everything. From how people go to work, to how they interact with their family, to how productivity is done. And that's fundamentally at a base level what's going on. Now let's move to the healthcare side of things and what's changed there. So first off, the supernatural, heroic effort of our healthcare people is, it's unique. In the current environment, there are no words to describe what they must be going through, what their families must be going through, what the victims of COVID-19 under their care must be going through. It's unspeakable for the most part. But with that, I think there are ways that we as a society and as technology professionals can help. The combination of this work from home environment that leads, and especially in healthcare, to things like telemedicine, it leads to things like, moving from focused care when you're talking about, orthopedics or whatnot. Now you're moving into, we're going to convert those into COVID-19 response. It could be even remote ICU units when you're talking about field hospitals, and taking remote clinics in a hospital system and migrating those to some kind of system that can be pieced together as a response to this. It's insane. And the IT people and responses that are going through that it's unbelievable. So with that, today I wanted to go through and really talk about how IGEL and VMware can help in this situation. I myself was an IT professional in healthcare for a little while in Southern California, where I really learned, exactly what it means to manage those systems. I mean, it could be thousands of systems. It could be, one system. If you're talking Epic, it just really depends on the hospital's focus, the healthcare system's focus. So to come back down to earth and to really talk about succinctly what we can do, I'm going to show you a few slides, and then I'm going to jump into a presentation, more of a demo format, which is obviously going to be linked as well. From other IGEL people, but you can actually just keep this rolling and move into that, okay? So with that, I'm gonna transition over to some of the slides that we have, and I'm gonna share my screen, and we're just gonna go through this very quickly in terms of the IGEL story and what this means bring to the table when you're talking about VMware, and especially VMware Horizon Cloud for Azure, and how we can help with that in the healthcare environment. So really quickly, from an IGEL perspective, there's really 3 facets to what IGEL does and what we can help with when it comes to, number 1, ensuring that there is more money for VMware spend and reducing the overall cost it takes to manage something like a VMware operation side of a hospital. So number 1, it starts with capital savings. What that means exactly is that IGEL can come in and we can save money by ensuring that a healthcare organization can forego potential hardware refresh. And the way that we do this is the IGEL operating system is so slim and runs on minimal resources that rather than refreshing your systems every 3 years, right, you can defer that maybe 1 or 2 cycles and ensure that IGEL OS runs on that. The IGEL operating system is purpose-built for things like VMware Horizon Cloud. And we connect people's apps data and workspaces very quickly and easily with that. So saving money on those hardware refreshes, number 1. Number 2 is operational savings. So the amount of time it takes to manage devices at the edge, they could be Windows, they could be a myriad of different devices, to ensure that they're secure, to ensure that users have a good experience. That can be costly and it can be time consuming. So the IGEL OS can come in, create a one pane of glass management approach, which can be given to the support organization as well as the IT administration organization and engineering org, especially at a hospital, to ensure that there's a kind of a streamlined effort to be able to manage those things. And it really reduces the operational overhead of that. Number 3 is really enhanced security. And then this is my favorite one, because it takes, you know, those normal pieces of savings and it kind of wrappers it into security, which is, you know, these days very rare. Security is sometimes even an afterthought when you're talking about a solution that you need to implement right now, especially in something like work from home. So in a work from home scenario, the IGEL operating system can run very simply, like on this tiny little USB drive, which I'll get to in a minute here. This is a UD Pocket. A UD Pocket is a small USB device you can plug into any Mac or PC that's x86 based, meaning it has an Intel or AMD processor, which allows the IGEL operating system to run in even a dual boot scenario, right? So even replacing, you don't even need to replace the OS if you're sending people home to access things on their own devices. You can even have more capital savings by ensuring they can use their own device at home. And this can be the secure environment that can access VMware Horizon Cloud on Azure with something like this. So pretty neat. Of course, this leads to innovation, which leads to more money that you can spend on things like VMware and more people in times like these to ensure that everything is solid. So there's really 3 market drivers around here. Number one is really work from home. So the ability to actually take something home and work in a secure, simple manner is critical. Number 2 is obviously security, as we talked about. Number 3, you're really talking about the cloud aspect, right? The ability to be flexible, but you know, ensuring that the other 2, the ability to work from home and security, are aligned as well. And most of the time, these are moving targets, right? The working from home piece can live out here, the security can live over here, and the cloud piece can live down here, and there the 3 shall meet, maybe 2. So the ability to do all 3 is rare and very cool, especially with our integration with VMware. So really quickly, when you're talking about the endpoint management problem, especially around hospitals, it can be extreme, right? So you have, you know, Windows that has been updated multiple times. Obviously, Windows 10 has made it a little bit easier, but even Microsoft is moving to things like Microsoft Windows Virtual Desktop, or even Windows in the cloud that allows organizations to take advantage of that service. VMware Horizon Cloud on Azure is really the best of both worlds, right? It creates this hybrid solution that allows you to run your VMware on-prem with now VMware on the cloud, and allows you to run kind of a homogeneous environment regardless of where you want your data center is. It makes it very cool and very easy to do it. IGEL then becomes the easy management play there, right? So as Microsoft is pushing Windows to the cloud, IGEL can come in, replace that, make it secure, make it easy, and then you can layer on already well-known solution that's vetted against things like HIPAA and a healthcare environment with VMware Horizon Cloud. So number two, the real other driver here is the VMware concept, right? So VMware Horizon Cloud for Azure is that easy to deploy, easy to manage, easy to secure system that allows you to put your Windows operating system, your apps, your data, all in the cloud to ensure that you have that flexibility and you have that one pane of glass approach for managing that from a VMware perspective. So you have this great dual system of one pane of glass for all your edge devices and physical things, and then you have your VMware data environment over here. And when you put these 2 together, it creates this very cool holistic concept. And that's what you kind of see here is this homogeneous system. And again, in the healthcare environment, it becomes very relevant, especially with work from home. So you have healthcare professionals that are now working from home. Maybe they're doing telemedicine, who knows, but now you can give them access to all the apps and the data that live in your Horizon environment in the cloud or on-prem, at home through the IGEL operating system securely. You have offices. This could be, you know, hospitals. It could be clinics, those type of places. And then you have the anywhere effect, right? And what I mean by this is the anywhere effect is you take your hospital, you take now your field hospitals with COVID-19, you know, like what's happening in New York City and Central Park, and the temporary hospitals that they're putting up. How do you manage that from an information technology perspective? How do you ensure connectivity and communication becomes very difficult? So one operating system to kind of rule these physical devices on the edge, and then you have one digital workspace solution with VMware Horizon on Azure to control your apps, data, and workspaces. Pretty homogeneous and aligned. And what this really means from an IGEL perspective is it creates a smart, simple, secure environment, right? It gives those users instant access to those things within that. So again, the UD Pocket is really the key to this. I'm going to quickly switch over back to my main video and kind of show you exactly what this looks like. I kind of showed you a little bit before, but it wasn't kind of front and center. So this is what a UD Pocket looks like. It's very easy to see in terms of its value, with how small it is. It can be plugged into any USB port, be booted very quickly, and can be run under those circumstances to access the VMware Horizon Cloud on Azure or even Workspace ONE if needs be. So with that, I hope you enjoyed a little bit about an education about how VMware and IGEL can kind of work together, enable VMware Horizon Cloud on IGEL for healthcare, especially during these trying times. That speed to a solution is going to be absolutely critical, especially when it comes down to the patient experience, right? A lot of these people are going through things that are unimaginable, and to be able to help them out is kind of our little way of making the world a better place. So with that, you can stop this right here. I'm going to go into a demo really quick that you can use to kind of leverage this and just keep going, which is going to be similar to the links that you have down below, and then we'll go from there. So really quickly, this is my laptop that I have at home. It's my personal laptop that I use. I can see I'm running a Linux derivative called Elementary OS on this. I have a UD Pocket plugged in. And so what I'm going to quickly do is I'm going to reboot this device and show you how quickly and easily it is to create a secure environment on any x86 device. So you can see here, I'm rebooting. The only operational lift you're going to have to do here is enabling and engaging users on how to actually boot from USB, which might be the operational aspect of being able to use the UD Pocket. Here, I can just quickly choose the UD Pocket. We support legacy BIOS. We support UEFI. We even support secure boot. If that was the case, to enable you to be able to put this into the hands in a secure manner of healthcare professionals wherever they're at, depending on the security posture that's required. So as you can see, it's booting right into the IGEL operating system. The great piece about this current scenario that you're seeing is that the existing operating system is still there on the hard drive on the laptop. This is all purely running from the UD Pocket that's plugged into the USB port. So you can see here, the first thing it's going to do is it's going to get the policies from our management one pane of glass that we call the IGEL UMS, or Universal Management Suite. From here, it's going to automatically apply those in a secure fashion, and you can do a whole bunch of security setting type things to make that happen. So quickly, I'm going to show you the UMS. So I'm going to share my screen really quickly and show you exactly what this looks like. So here you can see this is the Universal Management Suite. The best way to describe how this works functionally is very Active Directory-like, meaning that you create a bunch of policies that are almost like features or things that you want to put into the secure environment, and then you take those and you apply them to a set of devices contextually, meaning that you create your own structure. The hospital would create their own structure. Maybe it's main hospital, and then you have different clinics that you can use, and then you can apply the policies to that structure to ensure that people are getting what they need when they need it just in time. So an example here, I have a folder called VMware. Here you can see I'm enabling the Firefox browser for Workspace ONE. I have some monitor resolution stuff I'm doing for the sake of this demo to make it easier to see. I have some Wi-Fi access that I'm enabling here at my home. I'm also doing some NTP stuff, and then I'm also enabling a cool feature I'm going to show you in a second called remote shadowing that allows an IGEL user to actually access and mirror or shadow a remote user wherever they're at, as long as they're connected to a network. So here I can choose my device. I know it based on practicing this. You can name this whatever you want, where I can just quickly right click and I can click shadow, and I can do it in a secure manner that's happening, being encrypted over TLS over HTTPS. So I'm going to switch over to this really quick. I'm going to stop sharing the UMS. I'm going to share very quickly what the shadowing session looks like. So there we go. There's what it looks like. You can see here, I've got my my browser that's automatically run at startup. It's automatically going to the Workspace ONE, my demo URL, but it could be a production URL in a hospital. And you can see my credentials are in there as well. So I'm going to quickly log in. It's always hard to type your password in an environment like this. And you can see here, I'm going to get connected to my Workspace ONE environment. This could be VMware Horizon on-prem. It could be VMware Horizon Cloud on Azure, wherever you need it to be to make sure that your apps and data are all in one spot. And this is where Workspace ONE and VMware Horizon are such a great pair when it comes to that. So here I can click on my apps and I can, quickly get connected to the things I need. So an example here would be, maybe I'm a healthcare professional that I have a PACS system, right? PACS is a system that allows you to see images, very, very high-res images that maybe need to be graphics backed in terms of the hardware and the back end, so I can clearly see remotely if I'm dealing with, a lung issue, if you're talking about some of the symptoms of COVID-19 or something like that. So I can quickly just click that GPU instance that's available to me in my Workspace ONE scenario. We built in the Horizon client to IGEL, so I can quickly run that in the back end through this scenario, and you can see it just pulls up my my session. And then as a practitioner, right, it could be a doctor, it could be a nurse, could be someone, I can get access to my Windows desktop that allows me to run the PACS application to get access to that data securely, right? That data, those workspaces, all those things are in a secure manner in the data center that they control. So here I'm connected to my Windows 10 environment, and you can see now I can connect to anything I need to connect to from that perspective. Google Earth would be, a good demo if we would allow that to run. So quickly, another question would be how easy is it to actually, I'm gonna stop sharing really quick here. How easy would it be, and you can see that in real time on the camera, how easy would it be to actually go back to working on a laptop when a worker is done at the end of the day, at the end of their shift, or a hospital worker? So it's as easy as this, right? I can go over, I can quickly unplug, either disconnect or just unplug the UD Pocket device. As you can see here, my device is going to turn off, and then I'm quickly just going to hit the power button, and my device is going to boot right back in to the operating system that's installed on the hard drive, which is a very cool way to ensure that the user experience is very seamless and that people have what they need when they need to get back to their personal lives and have some downtime during the current situation, which can be tricky. So here I have my encrypted password I put in, and in a moment here, you're going to see I'm going to get a login right back there, back to my original operating system. So hopefully this is highlighted and helped to show you exactly demo-wise and informational-wise how IGEL and VMware have a very symbiotic relationship when you're talking about work from home, how IGEL VMware Horizon Cloud can be hugely beneficial together when you're talking about doing this on Azure, when you're talking about making that flexibility to enable these heroes to do their job wherever they're at. Hope you enjoyed this, and please feel free to engage us at any time. Thank you.